Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Broken TSX, and today for you guys I have a special surprise. About a week ago I mentioned to you guys on my first review video of my Acura TSX here that I was going to eventually replace my exhaust. Now my stock exhaust, may I add, they were falling apart, they were raggedy. I had to get them welded 2 or 3 times. I had holes in it, it was rusted. So about 2 or 3 days ago, I came across a very good deal on some mufflers. Now they aren't name brand, but I can tell by the weight and by the way they look that these things are authentic and they will look really good on my car. They will fit the profile. I just didn't know how they would sound exactly, but I just assumed they would sound really good because of the weight. Because from my experience, a lot of cheap, raspy tin can exhausts are very light. If you knock on them, it'll echo. But exhausts like these here on my car now, they have a good weight on them. They're very solid. If you knock on them, it'll sound solid. It won't make an echo. I purchased these for about $100. I had them put on this morning, and from my opinion, and hopefully you guys' opinion too, they look great. These are 2.5 inch exhaust. They give off a very low bellow sound. You can see the train. There it is. These exhausts here, they're not too loud. They're not raspy. I've watched quite a few videos on YouTube of the first gen Acura TSX exhaust, and just about every last one of them, the exhaust sounded raspy. It sounded like not to my taste, but these here are very much my taste. They're low, they bellow, they give off a low bellow sound, a low mellow sound. You kind of don't notice them unless you put your foot on the pedal and give it some gas, and then they absolutely come alive. It goes from a low bellow to now a growl. Mixed in with my intake, you hear that VTEC growl kick in. So the VTEC growl plus the growl, the low bellow, mellow growl of these exhausts here, the exhaust notes here, it sounds really great. I'm really loving it. In my opinion, as I stated, I really think it fits the profile of my car. Because as you can see, the exhaust, it looks pretty close to stock, but just wider. Because once again, these are 2.5 inch compared to my stock, which I think were 2.2 inch, I believe. But that was my goal. I didn't want the exhaust to look obnoxious. I didn't want to look out of place. I wanted to look close to stock, but make my car look more sporty, more presentable. Money well spent. I spent about $200 to get them installed. Money well spent. I don't regret it. Next, I look to replace my panel here in my side skirt, because as I said, my car was in an accident. I look to replace all this duct tape right here on my fenders on both sides, passenger and driver. Get rid of these BBS wheels, I don't like them, and fix my side skirt once I handle all the rust underneath. But other than that, my car is pretty solid. And of course, as I said in my first video, replace the front grille as well. The bumper is okay. I have my Euro front lip, as you can see right there, with my Euro front plate. I've been working on this car for 5 years, and I'm happy to say that mechanically speaking, she's done. The suspension is completely done, inner outer tie rods, except for the driver's side. Upper lower control arms, the axles are brand new, the engine mounts are brand new, the engine has been rebuilt, the transmission pulls hard. So far this car is tip top. Now it's time for me to just work on the cosmetics, because it's a whole lot going on up here that I'm not in agreement with, that I don't like. So it's time that I handle that. And now that I have my suspension out the way, now that I have my exhaust out the way, now it's time for me to handle this. First thing first, I think I might replace the headlights because those are the cheapest. I'm looking to get just stock, nothing too fancy, just something stock. If I could afford it, maybe some Euro R headlights, but for me, I'm not trying to be flashy, so probably just stock headlights. Something I can just plug and play and just get on with my life. Replace the fenders, as I just said. Maybe a new hood too, because you guys can see the hood's kind of popping up there. Once again, she was in an accident, so I want to replace that too. After that, I want to get a I'm thinking a HPS short ramp intake, which will add about 15 horsepower. From what it said, between 8 to 15 horsepower in that range. I think 15 for the Coda intake, which goes all the way down. I don't want that because where I live at, it always floods severely. So the last thing I want is to drive through a puddle of water and that intake sucks up all the water and hydrolock my engine. That's the last thing I want. So I want an intake that sits directly on top. So that'd be a cold air or a short ram intake, excuse me. So I want to get a short ram intake, which would be it'll add about 8 horsepower. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to show you guys that I'm making progress on the broken TSX. When this car is all done, I will continue to do reviews on it. I look to do reviews on other cars as well, whether I rent them or I come across people who are willing to let me review their car. I'm a Honda fan. I'm a JDM fan. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also friends with people who are into cars like me. So it'd be quite easy to get my hands on a couple great cars to review. But this will conclude this video. Once again, guys, I got my exhaust. Sounds really good. A low bellow, mellow sound. Not too loud. And when I drive, it doesn't give a high drone that'll give me a headache. It's very close to stock when I'm driving at normal. It only sounds alive and different when I crank it up and when I give it some gas. Otherwise, it's completely quiet. I love it. And yeah, money well spent. Till next time, I love you guys, and I'm out.